Hello and welcome to the Spec Esports Tier 1 PS4 Pacific Series. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for this evening's race. We are here in Suzuka for round 17 at the Japanese Grand Prix. This is a clockwise track with a total of 18 corners and a track distance of 5.8153 kilometers. The first Japanese Grand Prix was held in 1976 at Fuji Speedway, but only lasted 2 years before being taken off the calendar for 10 years in 1977. Later, the Japanese Grand Prix returned to the calendar at Suzuka in 1987. Then 20 years later, F1 returned to Fuji Speedway for 2 years again, then went back to Suzuka in 2009 after an alternating agreement between the owners of Fuji Speedway and Suzuka, then being Toyota and Honda. Later that year, Toyota announced that they would not race at Fuji Speedway, and Suzuka has then hosted the Japanese Grand Prix from 2009 since. The driver with the most wins around here was Michael Schumacher, and Valtteri Bottas took home the win in this year's race. We're going to have a look now at the championship standings. As you can see, F1 Amazing Hour is currently sitting at the top of the standings board, and he is sitting on 326 points. I can now hear the drivers heading out for their short qualifying. Then you have 40 in the McLaren currently sitting in second on 175. Then you got Toddster for Racing Point in third, who is on 168. Plebs in Renault, who is fourth for 166, if I'm correct. 126 points is next to JB's name. We have 5 different constructors in the top 5. That's definitely good to see. Then we have a reserve driver of James H. 1999 sitting on, I do believe that is 81 points. 78 points is next to Crossy's name. Darren 11 in the Renault 75, who I do not believe is racing this afternoon. P. Crun is also on 75 points. Spilly, rounding out your top 10, is on 65. So now we're going to have a quick look at our Constructors Standings. Alfa Romeo do lead the way by a decent margin at the moment on 327 points ahead of the Renault F1 team in second on 296. And you have the McLaren F1 team on 253, Racing Point on 4th in 233, Mercedes on 201, Haas on 108, Williams 77, Red Bull 50, Ferrari 41, and rounding out your Constructors Standings is Toro Rosso on 37. Now we're going to head over to the main screen. The drivers are heading out now for their qualifying session. I'll bring up the spectator menus for you guys. We have 16 drivers here this afternoon trying to win around the Suzuka track. Definitely one of my favourite tracks, if I had to be honest. Just such a cool track, to be honest. It's got a mix of everything, if you know what I mean. heading into the final sequence of corners now is the Rock F1. Anyway, we're going to ride on board with him now as he is starting his first lap. Coming into the turn 1 now, down the straight he goes, starting his lap. He has opted to use the medium tyres for his first run in qualifying through turn 1 now, runs wide on the second double apex of turn 1, coming through the S-curves now. It's the first apex nicely through the second one. This is all about carrying as much speed and getting on the gas as early as possible. Andre has already got a 5-place grid penalty for a contact with Aaron L3F4, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. Oh, there's Andre there in the Mercedes and Aaron, who has spun around. Now coming through the Degner curve, gets the first part nicely. Doesn't use all the track on entry, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Coming into the hairpin now, just brake after the curbing on the inside of the previous corner has ended. On the exit now, coming up to Spoon. Long right-hander here, you don't want to run too wide or too narrow. You want to make the track as short as possible, but try not to wash off too much time while turning. He runs wide there, does Rock. Coming through the first part of Spoon and the second part, gets on the gas nice and early. Ridwin is now sitting in provisional pole position with the 1 minute 30 flat in the Haas F1 car. Rock coming through 130R, breaking the 100-meter board or just under the Pirelli sign, as Amazing Hour has now gone on to provisional pole. I do not believe that the Rock will go on a provisional pole here, but this should move him up a few positions. Let's see what time the Toro Rosso driver's managed to do. He has moved himself up into P3 with the 130 flat at the moment. It is F1 Amazing Hour who sits in P2 actually, and Pete Crichton is on a 1 minute 28 flat at the moment, so 2 seconds faster than the Rock F1's time that he just set then. Then you got Amazing Hour for Alfa Romeo, if I'm correct, it is sitting in P2 with a 29.3 at the moment. There's yellow flag in sector 1, 2 and 3 at the moment, so I do believe that's just the drivers trying to get out of the way of others. I do believe Amazing Hour is actually enjoying 2 runs here on these medium tyres, or 2 laps on these medium tyres. Turns in a little bit early for the hairpin. That's going to cost him down the straight. Todster now moves up into P3 briefly, but then 40 in the McLaren moves himself up into P3. Amazing Hour now. He's going to get a little nice toe here from the driver in front of him. I'm not too sure who this is. It is Ridwin F1 who is currently sitting in position 7. So he got a nice little toe there, did Amazing Hour. He's now 8 tenths up on his time. Plebs moves into P2 as well for Renault. The 100-meter board's actually disappeared there, so someone's actually unfortunately hit that, so that's going to catch some people out. Coming through the final corner now, keeps it to the right-hand side to minimise the track distance, and he moves himself up ahead of Plebs into P2 with a 28.3. He's still got 3/10 of a second as Amazing Hour to catch up to Pete Crichton. Then you've got Plebs at the moment sitting just over a tenth behind Amazing Hour in P2. 40's unfortunately just just over a second behind the top 3 at the moment, so they've all got a bit of time to do the drivers that have not, well, that are out of the top 3 at the moment. 40 at the moment is looking like he is about to start a lap. Try and find a driver that is currently on a lap. We have Andre in the Williams, who's currently on a lap, coming through the S-curves now, the first part. Very, very passive coming through here at the moment is Andre, trying to not make any mistakes at the moment. Just trying to get a clean lap in is the Williams driver. Coming through the Degner curve now. First part nicely, runs wide and he actually gets a lot of oversteer there, so wouldn't be surprised if you see Andre back out of this lap here. No, he actually decides to continue on. This is his second run on the hard tyre, runs wide on the exit of the hairpin there. We'll return to Andre's lap in a minute. Banana Josh stays P12 for the second with a 148.5. I do believe he's actually just starting a lap now. That is correct. He gets on the gas a little bit early there to Banana Josh, which pushed him wide on exit of first turn. Coming through the S-curves now. Gets the first section of it quite neatly done at the moment, does Banana Josh in the Toro Rosso. Had to lift there through that final part there of the S-curves. Now coming into the Degner curve. Gets through there very nicely. Very easy to carry a lot of speed through there, as there is a lot of banking on the corners. Coming into the hairpin now. Hopefully he doesn't lock the inside front. Just manages to pull it up. Does Banana Josh. Going through this long right-hander now. Don't want to run too wide because you will just be extending the track, as Banana Josh has done so. He's just extending the track as it is at the moment. Definitely going to be costing him time. Coming through Spoon. Feathering the throttle. Runs wide on the second part. Manages to keep the car on the road still. Have a look. He's about to cross it. The sector line is Banana Josh. Let's see if he is improving on his time. 12 seconds faster, so he should be up there as it shows. But anyway, coming in to the final corner now is Banana Josh. Turns it a little bit early for the final part of that chicane. Now coming across the line now, he's got DRS nice and open. Moves himself up into P5 for Banana Josh. Nice lap there from the Toro Rosso driver. Crossy in the McLaren is now into P4 as well with a 1 minute 29.1. Amazing how opts to use their medium tyres as well for the Alpha team. Plevs is on the softs. Every driver in the top 8 at the moment, so top 7 except for Plevs are on the soft tyre. Then you got the Rock F1, who I believe is out on a lap at the moment. He's about to start a lap. He has now gone onto the soft tyre. Romy Alonso also is on the medium tyre. He's about to start a lap. He's warming his tyres up down the straight, heading into 130R now, so he's about to start his lap. Is the Ferrari driver. We're still waiting on Sergio JB to set a lap, so we're going to ride on board with him here. See where he manages to get up to, coming through the hairpin now through Sector 2. Gets through there nicely, doesn't lock up the wheels. Runs a little bit wide though. A lot of drivers tend to be turning in a little bit early for these corners. A very smart way of getting through a lot of the corners around Suzuka is straight lining the exit, turning in as late as possible and hitting the apex as late as possible to get on the gas very quickly. He does lock up the inside front there to Sergio JB, so that made him run a little bit wide on exit of the Spoon curve. Coming across Sector 9 now is Sergio JB. So the 12-1, that's not too bad of a sector. Coming into the final chicane now, runs really deep into the corner, manages to pull it up though. Gets to turn in very nicely there. Does Sergio JB. He's going to run a little bit closer. No, he's not. He's going to open DRS now, heading across the line. That moves himself up into P4. Nice lap there from Sergio JB, considering that was his first run. On the soft tyre, may I point out as well, Crossy as his teammate has actually just run off on the exit there of the S-curves. I'm not sure if he was just trying to get out of the way, but now Pete Crichton in the Mercedes goes even faster with a 27.9 on those new set of soft tyres. There's 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this qualifying session for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let me know in the chat who you think's going to qualify on pole position. Hello Liam Salter, welcome to the stream. But it is this man currently sitting on pole position on P. Crichton with a 127.9, the only driver that's managed to drop into those 27s. Amazing how he's got 4/10 at the moment. He's starting a lap now. Is the Alfa Romeo driver. And you got Plevs currently sitting MP3 for Renault. Not too far behind Amazing out at the moment. He's only got 1.136, I should say. Sorry about that. 0.136 of a second to Amazing Hour. He'll have to get 1.137 faster to beat Amazing Hour to move up ahead of him. Then you got the two Racing Points doing really well at the moment, both in 4th and 5th position. Then you got the other Mercedes driver in P6 at the moment of Sergio JB, who pulled out a pretty nice lap there. Then you got Crossy in 7th, 8th is The Rock, and then his teammate Banana Josh for Toro Rosso in 9. Rounding out your top 10 is Ridwin, who just looked like he narrowly missed the Ferrari of Romy Alonso, I do believe that was. I don't think it was Danny, no, it was Romy Alonso. But then you got 40 from McLaren 11. Romy Alonso is heading out of the pits now in 12th for his second run. 2 Williams, Zeffi and Andre. 15th is Danny D, and unfortunately, who has retired from the session, is Aaron L3 F4 for Red Bull. But we're going to ride on board with Amazing Hour now as he comes onto the back straight. I actually think he's backed out of this lap, so he may have had a mistake there. But Plebs is actually on the lap for Renault, coming through the middle sector now. He's about to cross the first sector line to see if he's up on a time. He's got Danny D in front of him. He's 0.1 .172 up on his time, so that's enough to get ahead of Amazing Al at the moment, but Amazing Al is obviously about to start a lap heading through the final sector. Doesn't mean he'll improve on his time though. Plebs comes through this long right-hander, chooses a nice line through there, doesn't run too wide or too narrow, coming through the spoon curve now, under a little bit wide and exit, but still manages to get on the gas nicely. You can get on the gas a lot earlier than you think for the spoon curve, as there is the corner, so the exit curving available to use, but Plebs is now .140 up on F1 Amazing Al. So unfortunately he's got to find a little bit of time to get beat Amazing Al at the moment. Comes through the final chicane now, gets over that shocking bump that they've added in the game, but now he moves himself up into P2, does Plebs with a 1 minute 28.1. I do believe Amazing Al, he's actually coming to the pits now as the Alpha driver, so he's going to have to put on a new set of tyres, I do believe. He may have had a bit of an issue with someone anyway, but it is still Pete Grant, the only driver that has managed to get into the 1 minute 27s as it stands. Banana Josh is on a lap at the moment, he's just starting one now. Runs wide through turn 1 and 2 again, unfortunately, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time coming through the S-curves now. Gets through the second part pretty nicely though, unfortunately have to lift on exit. Sector time's going to come up halfway through the Degner curves here. He's unfortunately a little bit slower or down on his time at the moment. He's 3/100th of a second down on his time, so he's got a little bit to improve through this second and third sector. Does Banana Josh. If the yellow flag in sector 3, I do believe they'll just be for drivers getting out of the way though. But in the top 10 at the moment, it is only Amazing Al that has opted to use the medium tyres, so I do believe he will come out on the softs. He's still sitting in the pit lane, is the Alpha driver. We're going to ride on board with Banana Josh coming down this long straight, heading into 130R now. See if he has improved on his time or not. Not one of the cleanest laps I've seen from Banana Josh, but he has improved by 0.156 of a second at the moment. That is maybe just enough to move him ahead of his teammate into P8 at the best. Onto the straight now, opens the air, so this is going to move him to, actually moves it up into P7 now, into the 1 minute 28 for Banana Josh. And now Romy Alonso very quickly moves ahead of him. They're taking his position into P7 for Ferrari. As you can see now, Amazing Al and Spilly are on their outlaps. Haven't looked at much of Spilly at the moment, so we're going to try and ride on board with him on his lap for Racing Point. He is using these soft tyres. Let's have a look and see what tyres Amazing Al is using. He is using the soft tyres as well. So everyone pretty much now except for Zeffy and Andre are using the soft tyre compound. Let's have a look to see what Andre is using. He's using the softs now, and so is Zeffy. So every driver will be qualifying on the soft tyres here, but now Plebs is starting a lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. Coming through turn 1, that was his teammate getting out of the way there. Gets through turn 1 nicely, does Spilly, uses all the exit curve available. Very clean through the first part of the S-curves. Just 3/4 throttle on that final part there. You'll see the majority of the quick drivers will be using full throttle through there. He is unfortunately slower, is Spilly. He may have actually just corner cut it there, I do believe he did. Yeah, he has unfortunately corner cut it, has Spilly. So he's going to have to try and go again. But now Amazing Al is starting a lap. Coming through the exit of S-curves now. He's about to cross the first sector line to give us an idea of how much quicker he's going. He's 3/10 up on his time at the moment. So this should comfortably at the moment move him into the 1 minute 27s. But it will be tight between him and Pete Crichton coming towards the end of the lap. But also Pete and Plebs are on a lap at the moment. Well, coming out of the pits I should say now, as you can see at the top left of your screen, next to their names. Amazing Al coming through the second sector now, runs very tight to that inside line. Coming through the Degner curves. Brake just after the 50 meter board, uses all the inside curve, uses the outside curve. Runs a little bit wide on the second part. Uses all the exit curve as well. Nicely done from Amazing Al. He might get a little bit of a tow from the driver in front of him here of 40 and Crossy, but doesn't do much. He's 7/10 up on his time, is Amazing Al. That's just what Amazing Al can pull out. Coming through the final sector now. This is going to be a mighty quick time here from Amazing Hour. This should move him easily into the sixes. Coming across the line now, it is a 1 minute 27.6. 3/10 faster than anyone else at the moment. Very nice lap there from Amazing Hour. So Pete and Plebs definitely have a little bit of work to do if they want to catch up to the Alpha driver. Very nice lap there from Amazing Hour. Plebs runs a little bit wide through the second part of the S-curves there. That could cost him a tad bit of time. We're talking hundreds to thousands of time there. That could have cost him. The session is now finished. He's up on his time P-grind, but he's still got to find a little bit more if he wants to improve. Or up to P1. He was a 10th. He was 0.172 up on his time, if I was correct. Coming into the hairpin now, gets through there nicely. Tries to use the wider line. He might pick up a little bit of a slipstream here from the driver in front. I believe that's actually his teammate there. Of JB, so they're probably intentionally trying to do this at the moment. Trying to give each other a little bit of a tow. I'm going to ride on board with JB. He's actually on a lap himself, is JB. Banana Josh gets out of the way there, coming through the final sector now. There's the two Mercedes drivers. JB's about to cross the line. Let's see what time he can do. Will he improve on his time? He moves us up into P4, and Pete Crichton goes to pole position with the 1 minute 27.3. A very nice lap there from the Mercedes driver. 3/10 up on Amazing Hour's time. That is a very nice lap there for Pete Crichton. So Amazing Hour's going to be disappointed with that. And now Plebs is coming through the final sector now. I'm not too sure how much he's up on his time. He's coming across the line now. Will he be able to improve? No, he unfortunately doesn't. He sticks. He is 1/1000th of a second, 100th of a second rather, slower than his previous time. So it is P. Crichton that takes pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of F1 Amazing Hour on the second row for Alfa Romeo. Then you've got Plebs and JB rounding out your second row for Renault and Mercedes. The two Racing Point drivers are Spilly and Todd. So unfortunately Spilly made a mistake on his last run there, so he unfortunately was not able to improve on his time. Ridwin is in P7 at the moment for Haas. Then Romy Alonso in 9th for Ferrari. Romy Alonso in 8th rather for Ferrari. 9th is Banana Josh, and rounding out top 10 is Andre in the Red Bull. Nice lap from him there, moving him just into the top 10 ahead of Crossy for McLaren. The Rock in the other Toro Rosso is in P12. Danny D for 5.8 in 13th. 40 for McLaren rounds out your top 15 if I'm correct. We'll wait for the provisional results to come up on your screens. I've got to point out as well, Andre has a 5-spot grid penalty, so that will move everyone up a position. But it is Crossy in 11th, 12th is The Rock, Danny D 458 is 13th, 14th is 40 for McLaren. Then you got the Williams driver of Zeffy, and rounding out, who did not set a lap time, is the Red Bull driver of Aaron L3F4, which he will not move up any positions, but from Crossy will move into the top 10, but I do believe he will be able to start on his selected tyre. The Rock will move up to 11th. 12th will be Danny, 13th will be 40, and 14th will be Zeffy. So that's your grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're going to let the drivers head over to the grid now for the Japanese Grand Prix, the RaceSpec Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1. As you can see on your screens now, the drivers are heading out for their formation lap of the Race Spec Esports PS4 Tier 1 Pacific Series. Bring up all the telemetry for you guys, but it is Pete Ryan that sits on pole position ahead of F1 Amazing Hour. Very nice lap there from the Mercedes driver, being 3/10 faster than anybody else on the grid. Then you got Plevs in Renault, who'll be one to watch. Then you got Sir LJB for Mercedes, doing a decent qualifying there for the Mercedes driver, for the Mercedes F1 team, both getting into the top 4. Then you got the 2 Racing Points who are doing very nicely at the moment, sitting in P5 and P6. Ridwin F1 sitting in P7 for Haas, Romy Alonso in 8 for Ferrari, 9th is Banana Josh for Toro Rosso, then rounding out your top 10 is Crossy, who I do believe is on a free set of tyre choice. Then you got who I do believe is on a free set of tyre choice due to Andre having a 5-spot grid penalty in qualifying, and he qualified P10. So now he is currently sitting down in position 15. Then you got The Rock in 11th, 12th is Danny D 458, 40 13th, 14th is Zephy, who unfortunately has not been able to complete the formation lap. He is sitting on the grid now. Same with his teammate actually of Andre, so those two must have had a little bit of a tangle on the formation lap. Then you got Aaron rather, in 16th, who unfortunately did not qualify. Then you got Suskas, who I think actually unfortunately clicked the spectator button when readying up for the Grand Prix. So he unfortunately was unable to set a lap for the Grand Prix. Peak Run backing everyone up now. Waiting for the drivers to form up on the grid. We'll be waiting for Suskas all the way down in position 17. We'll have to watch him as well, because we're not too sure of how his pace is either in this Grand Prix. Obviously did not have a qualifying session there for the Haas F1 driver, so that's due to a few technical difficulties loading into the lobby. 17 drivers have 27 laps ahead of him here for the Japanese Grand Prix this afternoon. If you are new around here, please do subscribe to the Race Spec F1 Esports channel. Turn on notifications to get notified when we do go live. Waiting for the light sequence to begin. Green flags have been waved. The light sequence is about to start. 5 red lights are ahead of the drivers. And we are underway for the Race Spec Esports PS4 Tier 1 Pacific Series. Pete Ryan gets a very nice jump off the line. He's moved himself ahead of Amazing Hour, but Sir LJB and the other Mercedes have got an also really nice lunge. And Amazing Hour's trying to stick his nose down the inside heading into turn 2, but unfortunately was not able to do that. Sir LJB has moved himself up into P3 there for Mercedes. Very nice job there for him. Romy Alonso has unfortunately gone all the way back down to the end of the grid with Crossy and I do believe that was Andre. No, it was just Romy Alonso and Crossy. Sorry, yes, that is correct. So they may have had a little bit of a tangle coming through turn 1, but it is Pete Ryan that leads the Grand Prix at the moment, ahead of Amazing Hour coming into the Degner curves. Then you got Sir LJB is currently sitting in 3rd. Nice start for him, moving Plebs down into position 4. Then you got Spilly for Racing Point, MP5, and then now Ridwin has split the 2 Racing Points at the moment for P6. Then you got Todster, who has unfortunately gone down a position, down to P7. Banana Josh in 8, leading his teammate MP9 at the moment, The Rock. Then you got Danny D 458, who has moved up 2 spots into P10. Zephy for Williams in 11. Suskas has already moved himself up 5 spots for Haas into P12. Aaron L3F4 in 13th. 40 for McLaren, 14th Andre. Then Romy Alonso and Crossy, who I do believe had a bit of contact at the beginning of the race. Actually, there's actually a big battle pack here. They're going 4 wide down the straight, and that was actually Spilly, who I believe had an incident coming into the final corner, and that's actually put him all the way back down to P10 from P4. Sorry, P5 rather. So that's actually been a big incident there for Spilly. So now they're all going neck to neck. Coming into turn 1, Spilly's dived down the inside of Danny D. Coming into turn 2, he's got a massive tank slapper though. So that's unfortunate there for the Racing Point driver. He went from P5 down to P8 and briefly into P10. That's moved Ridwin, his teammate, and Banana Josh up a few positions there. So Banana Josh now into P5. He's got a 2.5 seconds he's got to make to catch up to Plebs. Currently sitting MP4. He's right on the tail of Sir LJB in that Mercedes. But so is Amazing Al. There's actually, I think, been an incident back here down the order. That was actually Andre. Everyone's actually getting really close here in the midfield. So there could be a few incidents starting to be caused here. That's actually Spilly already moving himself back up to P7 ahead of Danny D. Now he's got his teammate in front of him who is, I do believe, actually there's a little bit of an issue with timing at the moment. So I will get back to you with that. But Danny D has got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So we're going to wait till these guys cross the sector line. But there is a few issues at the moment with timing. I'm going to try and reset it. Yeah, unfortunately there's a few issues with timing at the moment, so we just have to set this to fastest lap. Anyway, Pete Crichton now sets the fastest lap. Heading on to lap 3. He's got a sizable gap at the moment ahead of F1 Amazing Al. So JB is still starting to feel the pressure from Plebs. DRS is now enabled, so this should bunch the pack up. There is a yellow flag through Sector 3. That was actually Ridwan that has unfortunately retired from the session there for Haas. But this battle pack is definitely starting to bunch up now. Crossy has decided to come into the pit, just get himself out of the battle pack here. Does have a 5-second stop-go penalty. Does the McLaren driver. But at the moment, from P15 all the way to P9 at the moment, is relatively close to each other. We'll see if the timing's fixed up. It has actually fixed up, so Andre's right on the rear of Romeo Alonso. Will he try and dive down the inside, heading into the hairpin? No, he thinks better of it. But at the moment, these four are definitely going at it. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Rock at the moment. Suskas has now got himself up into the points-paying position. So 40's got a nice run. Is he going to try and do a Sebastian Vettel heading into Degner curves? Sorry, spoon curve rather. I don't know why I said Degner. Anyway, that nearly was a Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen there. But anyway, he's got slipstream now to Suskas and 40 heading down the back straight, heading into 130R. Suskas has slipstream off the Rock. He does seem to be lagging a little bit. Will he dive down the inside? 40 thinks about it, but Suskas does actually make contact there with the Rock, heading into the hairpin, and now 40's actually drilled him. Coming on the exit there, he had nowhere to go, did 40. So the Rock definitely did, and Aaron's actually spun around heading into the pit lane. So has he been disqualified as Aaron at the moment? He's actually been forced to come into the pit lane, so the Rock is now pit. The Rock had completely overcooked that corner there, and now he had spun around. So who was that? That was 40 if I was correct. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to remember who it was. That's unfortunate there for the Rock. I'm not too sure. I actually completely forgot already. But I do believe the Rock had just run way too deep into that corner there. But anyway, Suskas is now leading that battle pack in P9. He's moved up 8 positions, has the Haas drivers. He's looking pretty pacey at the moment. His next target is Danny D, 458 at the moment. MP8, Spilly, slowly catching up to his teammate and Banana Josh for the battle of P5. Plebs is actually right on the rear now of Sir LJB. Unfortunately does not have the slipstream, or is not close enough at the moment to make a move coming into the final corner. It's a better run through the corner, did Plebs. Then Sir LJB gets a lot of oversteer to Sir LJB. Heading over the bump, he's going to have the run now, is Plebs. Heading into turn 1. He's going to try and make a move. I don't know why he keeps going to that view. But anyway, Plebs has now moved himself up into position 3. He's actually run wide though. He got a little bit of an oversteer moment there. So Sir LJB is going to be right under his gearbox. Heading through the S curves. No overtaking through here. It is a complete one-way line. The Plebs seems to have managed to hold on ahead of Sir LJB in the Mercedes. But then is Banana Josh now, who still has Toddster right on the rear of him. Toddster's going to have to try and make a move sooner rather than later, because his teammate Spilly is going to catch up to him very quickly. Banana Josh running a little bit wide through some of these middle sector corners, so potentially running or having a few issues with tyre wear at the moment is Banana Josh. currently sitting MP5 for Toro Rosso at the moment. Amazing Al. Just 6/10 between him and Pete Crime. So we will have DRS heading onto the main straight. He's definitely catching him. Pete Crime is Amazing Al. He's closer than he was last lap, is Amazing Al. He's got DRS. So LJB has the 3-second time penalty now. Probably a little bit too far back at the moment is Amazing Al. Coming to turn one. He's got a really nice run though. So he's going to be really close. Under his gearbox is Amazing Al coming through the S curves now. So LJB was unfortunately not able to make a move on Plebs. Coming to turn one there, so he's going to have to sit behind him for another few set of corners. Banana Josh still has Toddster right behind him, but now it is Spilly who is caught up to the rear of this battle pack. So if I was Toddster and was unable to, or I am unable to get ahead of Banana Josh, then I would definitely potentially let my teammate Spilly go through, or Spilly go through, try and see if he can make a move on Banana Josh. As he now picks up a 3-second penalty, does Josh. Danny D at the moment running his own race. Same as Zephy. Romy Alonso has Andre at the moment right behind him. Romy's in a Williams sandwich at the moment, as Zephy is sitting MP9 and Andre MP11. Then you got 40, MP12. Suscus has unfortunately made a mistake, I do believe. That's put him back down to P13 from P9, if I believe. Crossy and McLaren, who unfortunately just had to pit there after an incident with The Rock, who is now down in position 15. Amazing Al's a lot closer this lap than he was in the previous laps. Will he be able to make a move? Coming to turn one, he's got DRS slipstream. He's in overtake. There's the Alfa Romeo driver. He's got a really nice run. Will Pete defend the inside? He actually doesn't. He sits behind him, this Amazing Al. So I'm not too sure what he was trying to do there, but anyway. If I was him, I definitely would have tried to make a move, unless he just was trying to play the safe game. Could potentially try to be saving a little bit of ERS too. It's Amazing Al. Pete has around 10 to 15% more ERS than Amazing Al at the moment. Plebs is starting to pull away from Sir LJB at the moment, trying to put his focus towards these front two, battling at the moment. Banana Josh still has the 2 racing points right behind him of Toddster and Spilly. Spilly nearly puts his car into the dirt there. Very lucky. He's fallen off a little bit coming through that first sector, so he's going to have to find a little bit of time to catch up to. Danny D's going to start to catch up to the rear of that little battle pack for P5. Danny's actually moved ahead of Zephy now for P8. Suscas has a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. Romeo Alonso's right on the rear of the other Williams of Andre now. So is 40, he's on the rear of Alonso, and Suscas has fallen off a little bit to the McLaren driver. Down in P13. Now Amazing Al's is closer than ever. I know I've said it every lap that he's closer than he was in the previous lap, but he definitely is still sitting behind him, is Amazing Al, so I'm not too sure what he's trying to do here. I don't know if he's just trying to save ERS massively at the moment or not, but I'm not too sure what Amazing Al's plan is here. It'd definitely be interesting to know, but he's just sitting behind him. If they keep doing that, Plebs is definitely just going to catch up to the rear of him. But Amazing Al was running a 0 ERS, and I do believe Pete actually was too, so could these two be working together a little bit at the moment, try and save some ERS? They're not teammates, so it's a little bit odd, but anyway. So from commentating previous leagues with these two in them, they're definitely, I do not believe, best of mates after a few incidents that they've had, so I wouldn't be thinking that they'll work with each other. And now Amazing Al's run off into the dirt. He's cracked it under pressure, so now Plebs is going to have Amazing Al's going to have Plebs right on the rear of him, so that's lost Amazing Al just 5 seconds now between him and Pete. So he locked the rear axle coming into the hairpin. So now he's got a lot of work to do. Has Amazing Al got behind the dirty air of Pete Crine. So now Plebs is definitely going to have to try and catch up to the rear of Amazing Al now. Amazing Al's going to have hot tyres and very dirty ones as well. Heading on to lap 8 now. Peak Ryan coming through the final corners now. Peak Run heads on to lap 9 now. 4 seconds. Amazing how I lost there to Peak Run. So let's see if he'll be able to catch that back up. But Plebs is now got to try and keep with Amazing Al if he wants any chance at getting onto that top step of the podium. So JB has fallen off a little bit now. He's got 10 seconds between him and Banana Josh. Now Tots is actually going right around the outside of Banana Josh, and Spilly's actually just dived down the inside. He's put his nose down there of Banana Josh, and that's lost Banana Josh to his plots there for the who was at the Toro Rosso team. But I actually do believe Danny's actually just had an incident as well. He's fallen down a few positions. He's got front wing damage. No, maybe not. But anyway, I think he just had an incident there as he was dropping down a few positions. But now the two racing points have moved themselves up into P5 and 6 there. A little bit of a nice teamwork there. And now Banana Josh has spun around on the exit of the hairpin. So now Zeffy, 40 and Andre are all going to move ahead of him. So is Romy Alonso. So Banana Josh completely cracked it under pressure. They could be a little bit angry. They may have made a little bit of contact. Had Todster and himself. So that's put him all the way back down to B11. And now he's got Suskas going to try and go down to the inside. No, he defends it. Does Banana Josh. So that's unfortunate there for the Toro Rosso driver. In the pits now comes Amazing Al. So what tyres is the Alfa Romeo driver going to put on? So everyone's going to move up a spot here. What tyres is that he's putting on? They look like a wet tyre fight, to be honest. But anyway, Spilly has now got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's completely screwed him up there. So now he's got to owe a 5-second penalty to the stewards. Amazing Al has come out on the medium tyres. So they could be pretty worn heading into the end of the race. He's now come out behind Zeffy in P5. Sorry, P6 rather. So now he's going to have Zeffy. He's got to try and negotiate now. He's got to sit behind. He's trying to go around the outside as Amazing Al. You see Zeffy really slow on these worn medium tyres. He's going to go down the inside is Amazing Al. Heading into the Degner curves. Quite easily gets that done on the Williams driver. Now he's got Todster ahead of him, who's going through the hairpin at the moment. Will we see Pete Crichton or Plebs come into the pits this lap? You saw Amazing Al got held up massively there by Zeffy going through the S's. This could edge Plebs a little bit closer towards the Alpha driver if he does make a pit stop now. And Pete Crichton, that will extend his lead. He's in the pits now, is Pete Crichton. This definitely seems to be the turnover point. Will we see Plebs in the pits? Yes, we do. Very deep into the pit lane, just manages to slow it down. Pete gets a nice pit stop done. I believe he is on the medium tyre. That was the Williams driver of Zeffy, I do believe. Actually, JB rather, who was also coming to the pits for Mercedes. So where will Amazing Al come out? He's coming through the final corner now. Onto the straight. He probably will get ahead of Plebs. Not too surprising. There he goes, does Amazing Al. So Plebs is actually going to drop a few positions here to Zeffy. I do not believe Zeffy's actually made a pit stop though, so he is not. So 40 and Zeffy has not made a pit stop yet. So fortunately Plebs has got a little bit of a gap between the McLaren and himself, so it shouldn't cost him as much time as it did to Amazing Al. But Amazing Al's got 4 seconds between him and Pete Crichton. So that brings Plebs out in theoretical P3 at the moment, but sitting in P5, considering 40 and Zeffy have not made a pit stop yet. So LJB comes out P6 and behind the Renault driver of Plebs. Suskas now into P7, who has unfortunately not made a pit stop. Then you got Todster and Spilly, who have both made a pit stop at the moment. Spilly was unfortunately not able to undercut his teammate. He does have a 5-second penalty. He does owe. If he does not do that in the pit stops, which I don't believe he will owe a 10-second time penalty. at the end of the race. It's probably quicker, to be honest, than coming into the pits and doing a whole tyre change, etc. But it's unfortunate there for Spilly. Amazing how now responds with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Now that's Danny D going up the inside of the harsh driver of Suscus. He's got the over and under and over. Did Suscus. They're going to go side by side. He's actually in the dirt, is the harsh driver. He's going to have DRS too, is Suscus. So I think Danny's going to have to sit behind him for another lap. Has no ERS to play with, unfortunately, does the Ferrari driver. 40 and Zeffy are both on the medium tyres, so they don't have to pit for at least another 3 to 4 laps. Probably even longer, but this is definitely slowing Plebs down at the moment. These two battling. So Plebs will just be wanting these two to get out of the way, to be honest. He'll be doing a Sebastian Vettel. I do believe, was that Romeo Alonso that spun around through turn 2? He has actually spun around through turn 2. He could be very close there. That was actually an incident there with Banana Josh, I do believe. So I think Banana Josh just redressed that position there to the Ferrari of Romeo Alonso. Zeffy in Williams now has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He's actually lost a few positions there, Zeffy. He actually spun around through Spoon, so I think he may have had a bit of an incident there with 40. Now Plebs has his eyes on the McLaren driver ahead of him. Cuts that corner a little bit, does 40. Amazing out. Repeatedly setting fastest laps at the moment, trying to catch back up to the Mercedes of Pete Ryan. 40 doesn't seem to be putting up too much of a fight at the moment between him and Plebs, as he knows Plebs is the faster driver. He gets that move done pretty easily, does the Renault driver of Plebs. Coming through turn 1, there you can see that's a gap between Plebs and Sir LJB. You can see him just in the background now of the shot. But it is still Pete Ryan that leads the Grand Prix, exiting the hairpin now. And there is Amazing out exiting the hairpin there. So that is the gap between the two leaders at the moment. Amazing out coming through the spoon curve under the Rolex sign. He now heads through 130R, coming into the final corners now. Break between the under the Pirelli sign and the 100 meter board. Pete Ryan now sets fastest lap. Will Amazing go even faster? He does not, so he actually lost a little bit of time there. Did Amazing out, but Andre's now got a 3-second penalty. Just a yellow flag through sector 2. I'm not too sure what that was for. That was actually The Rock, who was spun around on the exit of the hairpin. He may have actually had a bit of an incident there with his teammate, but Plebs now, the fastest driver on track, trying to catch up to Amazing Hour. He's got 8 seconds. He's got to try and make up on the Alfa Romeo driver. Still yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not too sure what this is for. We're going to run on board with Pete as he is now entering sector 2. Still there, so I do believe someone has had an incident. If anyone, I think it is The Rock, who I do believe tangled with his teammate Banana Josh. So unfortunate there for the two Toro Rosso drivers. The interval is still 4.8 seconds between the race leader and F1 Amazing Hour. Hasn't seemed to be moving much, up or down. Becomes really deep there, did Pete Ryan. Definitely much deeper than Amazing Hour coming into that final corner. Suscus now has a 3-second penalty, so I do believe that is now 6 seconds worth of penalties he has gained himself. Pete goes fastest now with the 1:31.033. Takes away Plebs' time. So now you can see Plebs is coming across the line now. Unfortunately, does not set the fastest lap, but I do believe he has the second fastest lap, if I'm correct, for Renault. So I don't think he's pulling away from 40 as much as he would be liking to at the moment is Plebs. And he's not catching up to Amazing He lost just under, sorry, just over 5/10 of a second there between him and Amazing so he definitely isn't catching at the moment. Spilly just made a move on Suskas as he has to actually run wide there on the exit of turn 2 as the harsh driver. Suskas seems to be going forward, then backwards. So he's getting into a few incidents at the moment, is the harsh driver. He's got really hot tyres, as you can see, he's oversteering everywhere. Now he's down into P10, taking the final point home. Todster still leads his teammate Spilly at the moment. Coming through Spoon to the 2 Racing Point drivers. Coming into 130R, will Spilly be now. He's got 1.3 seconds between him and his teammate. Danny D's a little bit further behind at the moment. I do believe Spilly just made a move on him. Todster's got Zeffy. He's going to try and catch up to now, who is coming under the F1 2019 banner, as you can see. And right now, Todster is coming under the F1 2019 banner. So that's the difference between Zeffy and Todster for P6 and P7. Suskas has just lost a spot to Andre as now he is in the pit lane for a change of tyres. He's gone onto the soft tyres there, has Suskas, so I don't believe he will get to the end on that set of tyres, but anyway, we'll have to see how that plays out for him. We'll have to see. This could be close between him and Remy Alonso coming out of the pits. No, this actually could be close between him and Banana Josh. Josh is a little bit too far behind, but it will be right under his gearbox. Will Banana Josh coming into the S curves. The Rock's a little bit behind him though. He's got 48 seconds between him and his teammate. Pete's actually lapped him at the moment. Same as Plebs. And I do believe 40 has as well. Actually no, I don't think Plebs is the next driver he will be lapping, but Pete Crichton is now heading on to lap 17. There is 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. There's still a yellow flag through Sector 1, so we're going to try and have a look to see what that was for as Pete Crichton is coming through Sector 1 now. Still yellow flags in Sector 1. So I think that's Banana Josh that may have just had an incident, as he's lost a lot of time between him and Suskas. So those two may have had a little bit of contact there. But anyway, it is still this man, Pete Crichton, that leads the Grand Prix. 4.1 seconds between him and Amazing How. Amazing How's definitely starting to catch up to him. He's gained about 4 or 5 tenths in the last 2-3 laps, so that's definitely not enough if he wants to catch up to him towards the end of the race. 40's been sitting around that 1.6 second mark at the moment between him and Plebs. This could be a little tight battle coming towards the end between the 2 Renault powered cars. Obviously the McLaren being powered by the Renault F1 team. Renault F1 engine, I should say. In 2021, it will return to its historic name and one of their definite dominant names of McLaren Mercedes. We're going to show you a gap difference here now between Pete Crichton. There's still yellow flags in Sector 1 as Banana Josh has spun around again coming into the S-curves. I think he has front wing damage, does the Toro Rosso driver. I want to get off this view so I can take a visual look at his front wing. He's nearly spun around again, has Banana Josh. He does have front wing damage if I'm correct. He's run off into the dirt. So hopefully this doesn't affect Pete Crichton now, because he's trying to also get out of the way. Hopefully he does not affect Amazing As he's actually spun around now, so this could be hopefully his car does. Goes is now amazing how he's got a 3-second time penalty for cutting the Degner curves. Hopefully Plebs notices his car right here. And he does get out of the way, does Banana Josh. That's the Rock as well, so the two Toro Rosso drivers there having a bit of issues. I'm not too sure if Banana Josh is kind of waiting for the Rock at the moment. The Sir LJB gets ahead. I'm not too sure what these two are doing at the moment. I have a feeling they're trying to take each other out, but anyway. Zeffy will be catching up to the rear of those two Toro Rosso drivers soon anyway. And now you can see that Todd is right on the rear of that Williams. Spilly's a little bit too far behind at the moment. He's lost it out to a bit to his teammate. I kind of want to watch these two at the moment. I'm not too sure what they're doing. Banana Josh still spinning out as well. He's got major front wing damage now. Does Banana Josh. He actually came onto the track there very aggressively. So he could be looking at a potential unsafe return to the track. But anyway, the Rock now, the other Toro Rosso driver, has a 5-second time penalty. Next to his name. Todson now moves ahead of Zeffy. As Zeffy's actually in the pit lane, so I think he may have a bit of front wing damage. There's no need for him to pit, if anything. So I'm not too sure what's happened with the Williams driver. Are they changing his front wing? No, he's doing a scheduled 2-stop. So I'm not too sure there why Zeffy's chosen to do that, because that just cost him a lot of time. But anyway, now let's put him all the way back down to P10. So that moves the 2 racing points up into P5 and P6, where they both qualified. I do believe Spilly qualified ahead of Todster. Yes, he did. As you can see, Todster's moved that 1 spot and Spilly's lost a spot to his teammate. Banana Josh is now in the pit lane for Toro Rosso. Amazing how still sitting at around that 4.3 mark, not gaining or losing too much to Pete Crichton. Levs is definitely losing out though to the front two at the moment. Just doesn't have the pace that he had at the start of the race. Heading on to lap 20, there's 7 laps remaining. Now for the drivers, there's 15 drivers remaining in this Grand Prix. Trying to see what that yellow flag was for, but anyway, there's still a yellow flag. Through sector 1, was that Banana Josh? That was Banana Josh going very slowly, so hopefully he gets out of the way of Pete Crichton. He's about to lead lap twice, is Banana Josh. If you guys are new around here, please do subscribe to the Spec Esports channel and turn on notifications to get notified when we do go live. If you are willing to wanting to join one of our leagues, is 40 now, goes fastest with a 130.5. He is sitting in P7, so he's going to be able to gain that extra 1 point. If you are wanting to join the Spec Esports League, there is a link in the description that will take you to the sign up. We host multiple different leagues, including regional series like this, Pacific Series, America Series, European Series, etc. We also host F2 Classic Sprint Series, so Formula 2 Championships, which has recently started up, same as the 2010 Classic Series. We have the Elite Series that I do believe you get added into if you do decent in your regional series. All our socials as well are down in the description below. Heading on to lap 21 now is Pete Crichton. Amazing is catching up to Banana Josh, who is going to be lapped now for the second time. So that's a gap there between Plebs and Amazing Hour. So Amazing Hour coming to the final Degner now. And Plebs is still halfway through the S curves at the moment. So still a yellow flag through sector 2. That's Banana Josh, who I do believe just retired from the session. Safety cars don't really seem to be a thing in this league, unfortunately. They don't ever tend to show up. As you can see, there's Banana Josh's car that has unfortunately put it in the wall. he has now left the session, has the Toro Rosso driver, so unfortunate end to the Japanese Grand Prix there for him. No one seems to be pretty close at the moment to each other. It's definitely the two Ferraris that are closest at the moment of Danny D and Romy Alonso, but they've still got a little bit of a gap between them. Here's our race leader heading on to lap 22 now. Pete Crichton still leading the way of the Japanese Grand Prix. Coming through the hairpin now. Does Pete Crichton get through there nicely straight line to corner, as I talked about in the qualifying session. Here we are on board with our driver currently sitting MP3 at the moment of Plebs. So LJB is actually starting to catch up to the back of him. It's down to 2.9 seconds if I am correct. Is that 2.9? It is 2.9 between the Renault and Mercedes driver. That's going to be one to watch. There's still yellow flags in Sector 2. I think that was just a local yellow, to be honest. But anyway, we're going to ride on board with Pete Crichton. He's going to show you how to do a lap of the Suzuka circuit and cover through turn 1 now. Definitely want to compromise the first part of the corner to get a better exit off the second turn, coming through the center sorry, not the center curves. I was about to say the center curve. The S curves. Now around Suzuka, definitely one of the cooler parts of the circuit. Very and heavily aerodynamically affected through there. Gets through there nicely. Does Pete Crichton, revs it out in 5th gear, up into 6th, then 7th, coming through the first Degner now. Carry a lot of speed through here and slow it right down for the second Degner. Got a lot of banking, very easy to carry a lot of speed through there. Coming into the hairpin now, brake just after the F1 2019 board. Through the hairpin now, choose to use the wider line. Coming through this long right-hander now, you don't want to run too wide through here as it is just extending the amount of track you have to cover. Braking just after the 50 meter board, coming through Spoon now. Gets into the second part of Spoon nicely, uses all the curb on exit. Straight over to the left hand side to minimize the track distance he has to cover. Coming through 130R now. Doesn't decide to use all the track on exit. Brake between the Pirelli and the 100 meter board. Very, very clean lap there for Pete Crichton. Comes around the final corner now. And does a nice lap there, 131.3 for the Mercedes driver. So as you can see, this is amazing. Pete Crichton going through turn 2 now. And that is amazing now going through turn 2. As you can see, that is the difference. That's 3.8 seconds at the moment difference between the two leaders. He's definitely caught up to him as amazing hour, but unfortunately I do not believe that will be enough. 3 laps remaining in this Grand Prix after this lap. So LJB is definitely closing up on Plebs at the moment, but not at a fast enough rate to be under his gearbox towards the end of the race. 40 and Todd's there going at it coming into turn 1. 40's managed to get ahead of the 2 racing points now. Moving him up into P5 for McLaren. Very nice job there from the McLaren F1 team. Then his teammate at the moment is currently sitting down in P10 at the moment. Unfortunately for him, he's only going to be bringing home 1 point. I'm going to have a look to see who has the fastest lap, but if I'm correct, it is actually this man that has it. Wrong one. It is 40 that has the fastest lap. The only driver in the 1 minute 30s at the moment. He said a 1 minute 30.5, or 5/10 of a second between anyone else at the moment for the fastest lap. So he's looking to be able to gain that extra point for the McLaren F1 team. There's 10 seconds between the McLaren driver and Sir LJB at the moment. So unless 40 can gain over 2.5 seconds a lap to Sir LJB, nearly even 3 seconds, he won't be able to catch up to him, or Sir LJB makes a mistake. He's definitely catching up to Plebs now. It's just over 2 seconds now between him and Plebs. It was 2.6 last time I checked, if I was correct. Amazing how he's got that gap down to 3.5, but that's definitely not enough, as there is 3 laps remaining, including this one. The Rock has now got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He'll be nearing disqualification. He's now retired from the session. Has the Toro Rosso drivers, that brings our retirement count down up to 14 now. And the closest battle pack at the moment is still between the 2 Ferraris. The yellow flag in Sector 3 at the moment, still for the Rock's car. But anyway, heading onto the penultimate lap is Pete Crichton now coming out the final corner. I'm going to go through your grid order now. It is Pete Crichton that leads the Grand Prix at the moment in the Mercedes F1 team car, ahead of Alfa Romeo Sauber team of F1 Amazing Hour. Then you got Plebs at the moment, currently sitting MP3 for Renault. He's got a fast charging Sir LJB behind him, which unfortunately does not look like he'll be able to catch him towards the end of the race, unfortunately for the Mercedes team. 40 has now moved himself ahead of the 2 Racing Points, putting him up into V5 for McLaren. Nice job there from himself. Then you got the 2 Racing Points of Toddster 99, who has moved himself ahead of his teammate Spilly. You got the 2 Williams of Andre and Zephy picking up some nice points there for themselves in 8th and 9th. Then you got Crossy, the other McLaren Renier, top 10. And you got both the Ferraris at the moment, who are definitely the closest at the moment on track, sitting in 11th and 12th. Then you got Suskus, who's actually caught up to the back of the 2 Ferraris at the moment. Definitely looked quicker towards the start of the race, but unfortunately lost that pace in the second stint. He'll be having really worn soft tyres at the moment. As he put these on around lap 17, if I was correct. So Pete Crichton coming through the final sector now. Doesn't have much ERS to play it with, but he doesn't have any pressure from behind at the moment, so doesn't really need it, to be honest. As Pete now sets on for the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. As Amazing Hour does now. Plebs has just crossed the 3rd sector line, so that's a gap you can see between our 2 front runners and Plebs at the moment. Suskus has a 3-second penalty, so that is now 9, potentially 11 seconds worth of penalties he has now gained himself. Plebs starts the final lap now. Then you got Sir LJB starting his final lap. That's the gap between Sir LJB and 40. Sir LJB was just crossing the line. 40 has about 4 seconds now till he crosses the line, and he crosses it now. So that's a gap there. He's definitely caught up to him. There was 10 seconds around 2 laps ago. He's actually caught up to him by just under 2 seconds as the McLaren driver. So he's done he's definitely been quicker towards the end of the race. He does have our fastest lap, if I'm correct still. He does, sitting in P5. He's got a 5/10 advantage of anyone else at the moment. As Pete now is about to start his final sector here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Coming through the final section of corners now, does the Mercedes driver. Can negotiate these pretty easily, should be no issue. Comes across the line now, does Pete Crichton. He's going to take the win here for the Japanese Grand Prix here in Suzuka. Amazing Hour is going to come home P2. Unfortunate result there for him, sitting in P2 there for the Alfa Romeo team. Plebs has not even started the final sector now. As you can see, he just crosses the line there. Coming through 130R now as the Renault driver. Very solid race there from Pete Crichton. It's definitely a pretty good achievement to be able to beat F1 Amazing Hour in a race. If you know who Amazing Hour is, he's definitely one of the quickest drivers on the game at the moment. That is Plebs coming home P3 ahead of a fast charging Sir LJB for P4. 40's coming around the final corner now. He's going to come home for P5 and McLaren. Very nice job from him. And he's also going to take home an extra point for the fastest lap. Then the 2 racing points now come home. P6 and P7 there. But now, actually no, that was not there. That was a little glitch I just saw on my screen. Spilly has now got himself another 5-second penalty for an unserved penalty that he did from speeding in the pit lane during his stop. Zeffy now moves ahead of his teammate across the line there for Williams. So that's an 8th and 9th result there for the Williams F1 team. Nice result there. Then you got Crossy rounding out your top 10, taking home 1 single point there for the McLaren team. Romy Alonso moves himself ahead of his teammate Danny D, putting him back down to P12. Then it was Suskus rounding out your finishing drivers in P13. You see the drivers now heading out onto the grid. There's that Mercedes car that won the Grand Prix here for the Spec Esports PS4 Tier 1 Pacific Series. But it is P. Crichton that takes the win here for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team here in Suzuka. Then you got F1 Amazing Hour sitting in position 2. Then rounding out your top 3 is the Renault driver of Plevs, who unfortunately did not have the pace towards the end of the race and was unable to keep with Amazing Hour when he had that incident through the hairpin. Then you got Sale JB sitting in P4th there for Mercedes. Nice job there from the 2 Mercedes drivers. Then you got McLaren driver 40, who was very quick towards the end of the race, who also picked up the fastest lap, so that's going to gain him an extra point. Then you got the 2 racing points of Todster and Spilly. Zeffy in 8th, and then 9th for the 2 Williams. Crossy in 10th for McLaren. Romy Alonso 11th. 12th Danny. Suskus in 13th. The Rock, Banana Josh, Aaron, and Widwin unfortunately did not finish the Grand Prix. But that has been your Japanese Grand Prix here for the Spec Esports PS4 Tier 1 Pacific Series. My name is Expert, and if you guys did enjoy the Grand Prix, please do hit that subscribe button down below and turn on notifications to get notified when the stream does go live. If you are wanting to join Spec Esports, there is a link in the description. We host multiple leagues, including the regional series, including this one, Pacific Series, European Series, American Series, etc. We host the 2010 Classic Series, which 2010 cars do. We race with, classic cars. We have the F2 Sprint Series, which is obviously F2 races. And then we have the Elite Series, which I do believe you get added into if you do pretty good in the regional series. But if you guys are new around here, then again, please do subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.